Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi channel. In this video, we will be doing a review of the recent match between Samoa and Tonga. But if you do enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Nonetheless, let's get straight into this video. Right, so the first match of round 2 in the Pacific Nations has just concluded with Samoa versus Tonga. And what started as a very good match for Tonga ended in a comfortable win for Samoa. So it did start off with a couple early penalties going the way of Tonga. They were actually 6-0 up in this contest. They did also score first with a brilliant try from Fetuli Paia right next to the touchline. It was actually a link up with his outside centre as well, which was quite a nice combo for Tonga throughout this fixture. Then we did see the try from Vaikoso Pulinaiti, the big man at number 4, who also sadly ended up getting a yellow card in the later stages of the game, which we will talk about very soon. But just before halftime, we did see the try from Reinuia, which did make the score at halftime. 18 points for Tonga and 10 for Samoa. So from the get-go, Samoa were a little bit behind heading into that second half, but Tonga, unfortunately for them, the fitness, they did end up just slowing down a little bit more in that second 40, and they definitely would have regretted getting that early yellow card in the second half of Vaikoso Pulinaiti, as during that time, Reinuia was able to score himself a try in the 46th minute and a try in the 52nd, so getting a hat-trick in this game, Reinuia, which helped Samoa get towards the win. So they are currently actually sitting 2 from 2 in the Pacific Nations Cup with a big matchup up against Fiji next week. Anything could happen in that contest, but I am thoroughly looking forward to seeing it. The next try was scored by Tamua Manu. Manu did slot in at number 12 for this contest. He played very well throughout this contest, linking up on his outside with Norea Famai, and I really enjoyed watching the Samoan backline in the second half, as they just seemed very structured. Danny Tuala did go off with a bit of an injury near the end of the contest. We did see an earlier injury in the contest with Samuel Slade having to go off for an injury of some sort. I believe it was the calf that ended up giving way in the end for the big man, who did actually dye his hair blue for this contest, so really getting in the Samoan spirit. Then the last try of the match, it was in the 77th minute, and it was scored by Theo McFarland to make the end score 34 points to 18. But I think both sides will take positives out of this contest. Tonga, they started this match extremely well, and they also got a lot more points on the board than they did up against Fiji. And I think one of the big reasons for that was because they were a lot more clinical in this matchup. In their game up against Fiji, they got close, but didn't quite get over the line. And when they did get over the line, they were held up, so they did have to go back for the goal line dropout. But this game, they were able to be a bit more clinical, and if they can continue doing that up against Australia next week, I think they'll have a decent chance of being able to possibly get themselves their first win of the Pacific Nations Cup. But they didn't have Israel Folau, they didn't have Malakai Fekitoa, and they didn't have Charles Piutau, and you wouldn't have thought it from the way that they were playing early on. It was just that fitness that did get them a little bit in the second half. Samoa, they will also be able to take some positives out of this. Even though they were having a lackluster first half of the game, they managed to fire back. That rolling maul is looking extremely strong. Reinuia, he was able to do brilliantly, taking the opportunities that he was given for Samoa, because when you've got such a big forward pack in front of you, it's always going to be tough to stop a solid rolling maul. In fact, one of their rolling mauls went about 25 meters, which is something you don't say too often. But Samoa, they will be looking forward to that next game up against Fiji, like I mentioned, that will be taking place next week. But there is still one more game that is taking place for the Pacific Nations Cup, and that will be the exciting clash between Fiji and Australia. That one is just around the corner. If we had to try and predict it before it happens, I think Fiji will be able to get themselves the win in that one, maybe by about 10 points. So we'll see whether or not we are correct in that one. But thank you all very much for tuning into this quick review. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Like I mentioned, 34 points to 18 in favour of Samoa, going 2 for 2 in this Pacific Nations Cup. But thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.